Welcome back, everybody. I just finished recording a series on the steps needed, the 4 first chapters in someone's journey if they're getting a new self-defense firearm, if they're new to firearms. As I did that 4th chapter, I realized that holsters were such an important part of that. I was going to do a separate video. So that's literally what this is, kind of an addendum to that. Not a different chapter, but a dedicated video on holsters. So glad you're here. First of all, why do you have that holster? Well, we're going to presume that you've done the research, you've done some training, you've gotten used to having a firearm, shooting it and manipulating it, right? And now you want to use it for self-defense. In almost every instance, you will want a concealed carry, a holster to conceal this weapon to protect yourself. Now, I am actually a big advocate of open carry in certain instances and for a variety of reasons. But most people, as they start on this journey, they will start with a concealed weapon, concept, basically. So that's what we're going to start with. Now, before we even do that, let's talk about this here. So this is an outside the waistband holster. This is holding a Shield Plus, which is the longer slide version of it. Okay, this is the carry comp, and it does have a light on it. This holster is very specific to this gun with this light with the longer slide. And as you can tell, this holster is an outside the waistband holster. I just don't want to rule out for people that this is still a viable self-defense carry option. You would still have this concealed. You might have a hoodie over it. You might have a cover garment, a vest, a sweatshirt, or like a button-up shirt that is not tucked in. This is still very, very viable, and I'm acknowledging that most people will not go this route, and that's okay. So we're kind of already covered that. Here we have my normal everyday carry. This is, well, it's a live gun, loaded gun. I have a weapon light on it. I have a magazine in it with a round in the chamber, and I do have a optic on here. Now, I am not saying that you should get an optic, a red dot, for that you should have a red dot on your first firearm. It's not a bad idea, but just know that you're changing your budget. And if you try to cheap out on a red dot, like under $100 or something like that, you're probably going to set yourself up for failure. So just know that going in. If you have the budget to get a red dot out the door, great, but make sure that you still are dedicating the time and money towards ammo and whatnot. I feel strongly that any holster you get now going forward should be optic ready. Even if you don't have an optic on there, you might get a variation of that gun which has an optic plate, or you might just buy an optic ready gun without an optic, right? And use that for a while before that. Now here's an example of a holster done wrong. Now I did not do this, okay? I bought this gun secondhand from somebody. Here's another Shield Plus, okay? Another Shield Plus, Performance Center, and a 4-inch barrel. And with it is optic ready. But you can see this holster. This holster is for a 3.1 inch, and you can see that it did not initially have this cutout for an optic. So someone clearly just butchered this. About a decade ago, this was normal. People would make their own holsters, or they would modify them. And now we have so many great holster options. We don't need to do this anymore. Also, this holster, this individual bought this gun and put it in the wrong holster. You can see that it sticks out the end. There are some instances, some exceptions in where this is not wrong, but you can see that in this case, it is not best for it. It is pushing the holster apart. This is not what you're going to want for carry. This is just what was included with this gun when I bought it, and I guess I haven't thrown it away. It's a good example. Good example of a bad thing, what not to do. Now here's an example of a pretty good holster too. This is form-fitted very well. It just didn't really fit very well for me. It had another clip over on this side. I took that off, I just found that this, with or without these clips, just didn't fit very well for me. But it's very slim, very well form-fitted. It has good retention, holding this holster in, holding the gun into the holster, but it does not support a red dot. So here's two examples. One has an optic mounting plate or a cutout, optic cut, and this one obviously does not. Look where that ends. Now look at this holster. That holster is not going to support having a red dot on it, even though it was kind of close. They had the right idea, or I don't know what they were thinking, but this will not support a red dot. So I did not pay full price for this holster. I'm glad I didn't. I don't even know where I got it, but I don't really use it much. But again, that goes back to spending all this time and money figuring out what's going to work for you, what is worth it and what isn't. As you can see so far, this process will be difficult. There's a lot to consider. You want to make sure you're getting the right things for this. Hopefully this discussion here helps you as you select the right holster for your carry gun, and also kind of helps you be future-proof. So here's one more thing to consider. This gun has a weapon light on it. So does that one. They are similar weapon lights. They are not the same. This weapon light, the TLR-7X, was released well before this one. This is an upgrade, and with this light, the bezel on that, the lens on that sticks out further and will not fit into those holsters. So while the shorter one will fit in there, the shorter one will fit in the longer holster, vice versa will not happen. So this longer weapon light will not fit properly in here. Now it looks like it's flush in there, but it has not fully seated, and you do not have the retention that you need for this. So that's something to be very aware of. And that is why I do have two of these same holsters, basically. I had to upgrade from this to this so that the longer weapon light I have on here is supported, basically. So keep that in mind. So far we haven't really talked much about appendix or inside the waistband holsters, but that's almost exclusively what we have here. There are a couple different variations, but these, like this is the T-Rex Raptor, T-Rex Arms Raptor, and say what you want to, or feel how you'd like about T-Rex Arms. They do make great holsters. They have for a long time. And I have no reason to believe that their holsters will get worse. Okay. But the Raptor, I wear the Raptor at about a 3:30, 4 o'clock position. It is possible to wear this in an appendix carry, like a 1 o'clock position if you're right-handed. It's just not the best way for me to carry. Now this is the gun that we talked about in chapters 2 and 3, and this holster is the T-Rex Arms Sidecar. Sidecar meaning that it can support something on the left side, if you're, as a shooter, your right side of this holster. Also, you can see that this does have a wing, basically, or they call it the T-Rex claw. Depending on where this is positioned, it can the belt can push into this, and it will cant the gun this way so that the grip is not protruding as easily. There are other videos I have, and also probably make more, in which we talk about the specifics of like printing and those, how to actually carry. But it's important to know these things as you select a holster. Now this piece can also be moved over to be right there, and then it will have a little bit more leverage on shifting that over. It's worth noting, obviously, that this is optic ready, is optic cut for it. It is, even if you do not have a red dot on here, this gun will work very well. This holster will work very well for this gun. You notice this gun does not have a weapon light on it, and the holster does not support a weapon light. That is fine. You need to choose what options you want to go with for the gun, and then you get a holster that is going to support that. So here's another version of the sidecar. This one does have the sidecar magazine holder, basically. It's added off at an angle here. Has the dual clips, which are going to go clip into your belt, obviously, and will be very stable. Now you can see this one, the wing, or what is it, the raptor claw, is mounted a little bit further up, and this is going to help pull, like I said, that belt is going to really pull that gun in like this, sort of like that, okay? So you'll see that on the back side here is actually some Velcro. Interesting thing, this holster was secondhand. I spent about 40 bucks less on this than brand new. And this is, well, I bought it for my wife because she did like the sidecar so much for her M&P Compact that she wanted one for the Shield Plus as well. And again, this one does support a weapon light, and of course it has the optic cut for it as well. Nice thing about these is that you can change out the sidecar option. They have the, I think they call it the wing. I don't know what this is, but you can swap it out so you can just have this instead and still have the support. You can adjust the height of this so that it is also fits, well, whatever, fits your body better. Last thing I forgot to mention is that because this is used, someone had Velcro on here and they installed some wedges, basically some other pieces on here which are going to help tilt the gun properly in the right direction based on the fit and for the utmost concealability. I'll cover a couple more different holsters here. Here we have a standard Shield Plus, and this is a very simple, I think it's a Blackhawk. Very simple, tucked in the waistband. This is not very supportive, okay? This clip is not very good. I might use this every so often in a appendix carry situation where I'm just like walking down to get the mail, or even just, I don't know, maybe someone rings the doorbell, I just tuck it in, put it on before I walk downstairs and answer the door. Something simple like that. But that being said, it has good retention, so it's not going to fall out, but the clip is probably, clip is the weak point on here. It's possible as you pull that out, if you try to draw that gun, that the clip is going to slip, basically. But at least this one does have a little bit of a hook there. Some of them don't even have that. So, but this is a less viable but pretty cheap option. And then here we go. This is the Alien Gear. I don't know what they call it. The appendix, or the inside the waistband holster. This is very old at this point, probably almost 5 years. I've been wearing this for a long time, and I wear this at the small of the back most of the time for the Shield Plus. This is not going to work for everybody. This is not the best setup for most people. This is what works for me, for my body type and my level of comfort. Don't expect this to work for everybody. I think that technically you could use this, not even from a technical standpoint. It was probably designed, this was probably designed to be an inside the waistband, like a appendix carry holster. And lastly, this is kind of a not as good option. It does check the boxes. It's optic cut. It does fit the weapon light. That is good. It's inside the waistband, but it is not a very good clip. And you can see these aren't even regular screws, like a Phillips head. Let's see if I got it. You can't really adjust it with these. You need to go with an actual Allen wrench, or hex, I suppose is what it's called. And so this is not perfect. I actually need to adjust that or tighten that up. That's loosening up. But I don't really use this holster. I just wanted to point this out, that this checks the box, but it's not that good of a clip. Maybe an even better way to say that is just plan on investing and kind of a buy once, cry once. Spend the money on a good holster that you believe is going to work well for you. And you got to try it out, dry fire with it, wear it around the house, all those things before you reach a level of comfort of wearing it for self-defense. Basically, that's about it. Hopefully these are just giving you some good ideas on what questions to ask, what criteria you want to figure out before you go buy that holster that you need. And don't be afraid to spend some money and some time and effort practicing with it, learning it, knowing that that will be secure and will fit your needs best. All right, that's it for now.